1 minute, 24. I just get it. Okay, welcome to HOOPSTALKZA. I'm your host, Hoops, and this is episode 9 of the review titled Whoop That Job. So, first of all, thank you for clicking on this video. And if you are new around here, please like and subscribe and share the video as well. And if you're not new around, thank you very much for returning and also like and subscribe too. So, that's housekeeping out of the way. Next thing is a trigger warning. In this video, I will be discussing about addiction and slightly in relation to job. And so, in case that's something that could trigger you, or it's something which you feel you're not ready to listen to or hear, or anything, or you have someone who you feel like could be triggered, or anything like that, just want to let you know beforehand. Yeah, just in case. Yeah. Yeah, that should be it. Let's get straight into it. So, Jamorant. So, star point guard Jamorant, fourth year out of Murray State, star for Memphis Grizzlies, unfortunately was caught again on IG Live flashing a gun. Um, and man, I think like everyone was everyone was just shocked. Like, how could this happen again? That's how it felt. Like, how could this happen again? Everyone thought, me personally, I thought it was an old video. I thought it was like a video someone took 2 years ago or something like that, that just surfaced again. But apparently it wasn't. Ja released a statement, so it's clearly something which, and currently he's suspended from team activities. League is investigating, so we're about to go through this whole thing again. It's just so unnecessary and just so sad, honestly. Because on the court, Jamran is coming off a successful season, averaging 26 points, 8 assists, and 5 rebounds. Honestly, all-star appearance, and potentially could have been even an all NBA player if he didn't miss those games, and you know because they clinched the second seed as the Memphis Grizzlies leading the team. You could have made that argument. And it's just, and not just for him as well, but also his teammates. Jaren Jackson Jr. won the one Defensive Player of the Year. Dylan Brooks, former teammate, but while he was teammate, got second team All NBA defense. What's his name? Um, Desmond Bain, career high year in almost all stats. And if you watched him, you could see there was a clear progression in his playmaking abilities, in his finishing at the rim, and in his 3 point shooting as well, still being a 3 point threat. It was such a successful season for the team. Still having those peripheral players with Santi Aldama, Steven Adams, and Brandon Clark. This is a team which was still on such a beautiful track to be in contention, to be still that title conversation each year, and sooner rather than later. So for Ja Morant to get caught up in this whole another gun fiasco again, excuse me, I flew a bit, so I if I started a bit, I'm sorry about that. For him to get caught up in this whole situation again is just so sad. It's just so sad. And when I reflected on it, for me, for someone to see someone who is staring 231 million of over 5 years, who is looking at endorsements from Powerade, Nike, Coca-Cola, who reverted back to the same behavior that got him suspended a few months ago. I only had, for me, I only had two, when I reflected on it, I only came up with two possible reasons. That was addiction and someone who's searching for an identity. I'll start off with addiction. With firearms, usually drugs and alcohol are always close by. And for me, when you obviously what hindsight is what vision it's like 2020, right? Going back and looking at those IG lives previously of Jamaran drinking all the time, or drinking in excessive amounts, or you know the parties he has during the off season, or the plane rides with the alcohol. All of these different things, like you don't why I brought this point of addiction up is not to kind of like to paint him to say that he's addicted because I don't know. Newsflash, I don't know Ja. I do not know his tolerance. I don't know anything about him. But just from the outside looking in, as someone who really cares about Ja as much as a fan can care about an NBA player, I'm really, really, I don't want this to be something which is lost on people who are close around him. That the root of this issue for someone who's not able to, who can see what's happening, who can see the clear consequences of what's going on, and is going back to that same behavior. You have to. I don't want it to be lost. I wanted to speak about it first, and just I'm not a doctor. I'm not anything related to that. I'm just someone speaking from the outside looking in. No, just hoping that everything's good on that front because I do not want this I don't want this to be something which Ja has to do until he's 53. The root of this issue has to be dealt with now better than later so we can live such a flippant lovely life until he gets to become one of those guys on what do you call it, TNT or something because yeah, Ja Morant's that good. So I just wanted that. I hope that that is not the cause. So, but I really, really need for Jamaran and the people close around him to reflect on that and to hopefully speak to each other about, speak to him about it, and hopefully him to speak to himself about it. You know. So hopefully, that gets dealt with, and from the addiction point of view, I just wanted that point of view to be looked at and just that's the worst case scenario. Actually, yeah, this is the worst case scenario, addiction. That's the worst case scenario. And then the second one, identity. Okay, look at Ja's story. From someone who was what's the word? Who was unlisted. What's the word for like not having any stars? That word, right? Who was unlisted coming out of high school. Discovered because of someone of a coach having to buy some Doritos and seeing him in a gym workout. Taken into stardom, having to lead a Murray State team, leading them through the NCAA tournaments, you know, becoming the face of a franchise in Memphis, leading this group of men, providing you all of these quotables, the bread inside my city, or for good in the West, all of these things along the way, from such a young age. These basketball kids are young. From such a young age, was he given the right tools to be able to deal with not the basketball side, because the basketball side, Ja's good. Ja's untouchable on the court. He's good there. But the social skills, was anyone there to help him be able to, to deal with his responsibilities? Not to give him any excuse, because you're a grown man, you know what's right and wrong. But was anyone there when he was still that 16-year-old kid to be able to guide him, not just on exercise wise, but mentally, someone to mold this young man? Was anyone there? That's my question. And when I look at the behavior that he did, that he had on this video, let's step back. The only reason we're speaking about this is because Ja, it's a guy averaging 26 points, five, 9 assists and 5 rebounds, right? But if you look at it from a different perspective, if a random guy was to listen to NBA YoungBoy and flash a gun on IG Live, odds are you're not going to speak about it. That says more about our society than. That's why I feel like some of this, and I'm speaking from the a different point of view, it speaks more about the other side to this. It speaks more. This issue speaks more to our society. There's nothing wrong with NBA YoungBoy, but the behavior that this music elicits in us, I don't want it to become about rap or anything like that. It's probably going to be damn messed up. But I hope this doesn't become that. I just want this to be a microcosm of society, and just not judging anyone, not trying to say demonize this place, this artist or anything. I just want us to also not lose sight of that, because we speak about Jamrat because he's talented, because he's already made it, right? But there's a million Chamarans. There's a million kids who not even are going to basketball, but going to business, physics, a lot of different fields, who are in the same, who could have been Ja, who could have been the guy getting a multi-million dollar contract extension. And that needs to be also a point in all of this. We have to, not we, because I'm 10 years old. Sorry, I'm also 20, but we have to also like speak to each other as well about, yo, we can't also encourage some of this behavior and some of the kids in which J. Cole, not J. Cole, yeah, J. Cole's verse, right? The one all my life. Kids are getting killed every day. That's a reality. So we need to also not lose sight of that. That as much as it is about Ja right now, there also has to be that we need to look past Ja a bit as well and like think about people who don't have like the league NBA league looking out for them, who don't have million niggas on Twitter looking out for them, who don't have a lot of support structures. We have to look out for them too. So I also want that to be. I don't want also that to lose, or I don't want that to be lost sight of while we're dealing with this issue. The next thing also, and when I was speaking about identity, is for Ja specifically, might not have been got. He might not have gotten the the training, the mentor that he needed along this journey to deal with, to be able to, you know, to be able to deal with this what tantalizing lifestyle, how to say no to that, how to say no to that lifestyle, but also to work on building a sense of identity in terms of him being able to latch back to say that as a man who's been given all of this money, who's been given all of these endorsements, can I be able to like say no to these guys? Can I be able to say, yo, you can't come around anymore. You can't come around to my spot anymore. To say no, but even before that, don't even interact with them. Not that there's anything wrong with those guys or the people who I'm referring to in this bubble, but just for Ja to be able to, look and recognize his responsibilities at this moment. Has Ja received that help in that sense? Not now, but in the past. Did he receive that help? That's something else that that I'm thinking about. And with something like identity, when you have a lot of money, it's different. Money opens doors, and John Morant's walked through some horrible doors right now that are placing him in a really really horrible situation. But I just really need for Jamaran to be able to like not just Jamaran but also the people around him, because this is going to be a have to be a community effort. When they say the NBA is a brotherhood, I need them to show up now. You can't just be like I'm looking at people like Draymond Green, someone like who's out of the playoffs right now, who hopefully like has a bit more time dealing with contract issue. I know, but someone who can like who has that voice, who has that experience, who has that 15 years of league, who's been through all of these things and has come out, who has that sense of identity that hopefully he can teach, not teach, but he can help Ja if he wants to like learn as well. So I really, really just, I'm thinking from all of those point of views, because at the end of the day, Ja's a talented guy, you know. And when I'm not just talking on the basketball court, but the ability to be able to lead men, doesn't matter like how old, as a 21, 23-year old, doesn't matter the way in the NBA with all this media attention. Right now, we can see he may not be dealing with the right way, but you can see at points he's been able to lead a whole city. He made the whole city start grading for crying out loud. So this is a man who has leadership skills, and on that point, and on that also basis, this is someone who's an asset to not just like the NBA, but also the black community as a whole. So that is something which you also I would really really love for for just people to also like keep in mind as well while we're dealing with this whole thing. Hopefully, none of this should condone what I did or like say that he has any excuse. Hopefully, it doesn't come off across like that. But definitely, definitely, I would really, really love. Or also as well, it shouldn't come off like I'm telling him like what to do, or like I know, nigga, I'm 20, I don't know shit. So I just want to also lay that down as well. That I don't know anything, but someone who's like NBA players are like those big brothers in a way. It's a weird way. Yeah, the NBAs are just those big sisters for the WNBA players as well. They're just like those big brothers that like you always have this soft spot for them. So I really really just wanted to come on here and just reflect on that. So hopefully it comes off in a supportive way, because that's how I really believe. At the end of the day, I really really hope that he gets the help that he needs in whatever way that is, and in whatever form of help that he needs, and the people around him, can hopefully just lead, and he can lead himself out of this, and the people around him can support him to do that. Yes, that is it. Playoffs are going on, so yeah, probably release a video on that. But if you do watch this video and if you do get this far, thank you very much. I will see you next time. Thank you very much. Really appreciate your support.